Now on to someone who is having a pretty good day. Once again, that's Donald Trump. A new CNN poll out today with Trump pulling clear ahead of the competition. 24% the latest number from them, 11 points away from his nearest competitor. That's Jeb Bush. We're joined now by Fox News political analyst Ed Rollins. He was the principal White House advisor to President Reagan. And Julie Rajitsky, Fox News contributor and Democratic strategist. I'm going to go back here for a moment, guys. I want to stay on Hillary Clinton here for a moment. Again, comparisons to Watergate, Ed. Is she done? Is Hillary done?
No. First of all, I started my politics. I was the first president I worked for, and I was in that administration when all the Watergate stuff came forth. It was a constant drumbeat for months and months and months. He had no obligation to basically make the tapes known until such a time as the court told him to. The critical thing, the similarity today, and I think the critical thing here is when you get things like the FBI and investigations and all the rest of it. I think her mistake was obviously she probably never should have had this email at home. She had classified documents that is becoming more and more relevant. She can get this cleaned up, I think, but I would not underestimate it. And I think at the end of the day here, she's still a serious Democrat.
Okay, Julie, that if you were advising her, how would you tell her to deal with this crisis right now? What should she be doing right now to silence what is becoming some very serious?
Well, I would have told her never to do what she did in the first place, which it is a mystery to me and a lot of other Democrats as to why she would go down this road in the first place, why she would feel the need to have a private server at her house and think it was never going to come out, as James Rosen pointed out. At this point, just come clean and admit that you screwed up. I don't know what else to say. Making jokes about it on the trail is not helpful. Continuing to say that you did nothing wrong is not helpful. You did do something wrong. You took information that belonged to the public and made it your private domain. Admit that you screwed up.
And maybe you were arrogant enough to think that you wouldn't get caught.
Yeah, it is arrogance. You're right, and I think she has an obligation to her party, if not to herself, to make this issue go away. And the only way to do that is
Julie, I have to say, you're a Democrat, and these are some tough words from Mrs.
not
Clinton.
The only one.
If I'm Joe Biden, I'm watching Fox Business right now, I'm thinking, thank you, Julie, for that endorsement.
I don't know about Joe Biden, but I will say, and I've said this for many years, I've said this for 2 years, it is insane for any party, Republicans or Democrats, to put all their eggs in the basket of any one candidate because of the fact that they could screw up. And what you see now is exactly what's happening to the Democratic Party.
And I can't imagine, though, right now that anybody, those true GOPers that have been in the party for decades, are happy about Donald Trump. None of them seem to be happy about it, but he's resonating. Does the GOP know who America is?
I thought I did, and I'm not so sure anymore, and I've been doing this for 50 years. I thought we had the strongest field I've seen since 1980 when Reagan ran, the governors, the senators, what have you. When 25% of my own party basically is saying thank you but no, and going with someone like Donald Trump, my sense is there's a very strong anti-establishment. And the people that we think are qualified because they've been senators or governors, there may be a rejection. Obviously, numbers show that the country's not happy with the direction of the government. And I think to a certain extent he's tapped into that. Now, whether he's the right person to tap into that or not long term, we'll have to wait and see. But right now, he's totally dominating this game. And it's very dangerous as he comes out with an immigration program that obviously doesn't have a snowball's chance in heck of passing, but it is creating very serious chaos among the other candidates and equally as important among Hispanic voters, which are very important.
It's a crowded field, and if you look at these, I mean, the fact that Jeb Bush and this entire pack of GOP candidates is so far behind Donald Trump is pretty surprising. But on the Democratic side, Julie, Bernie Sanders, Hillary's got him chomping it. And it's the same kind of thing. He's tapped into this anger. On the Democrat side, not sure what it is, but he's really grabbed onto something.
Yeah, you're right. And I think it's the same thing you're seeing on the Republican side. Ed is right, where people are just frustrated. They're frustrated with the status quo. They're frustrated with Washington. Hillary's been in Washington for 30 years. And in that same sense, so was Bernie Sanders. He's been around for a very long time, but yet he's tapping into this whole paradigm of I'm not somebody who's part of the establishment. I'm somebody who's fighting the establishment. Unfortunately for Bernie Sanders, there's really not much room for him demographically to go. The way Obama was able to do 8 years ago, and I think ultimately that's why Hillary will. She's not sweating it.
Real quick, I do want to speak Governor Rick Perry of Texas, who had a very strong economic platform as governor to run on. And, his funding issues pretty clear that he's running out of money. He's saying, hey, look, these early polls, a snapshot, it's early. He's still kind of in the fight.
The problem, I'm a big fan of Governor Perry. I think he has done a great job as governor of Texas. He came in a close second to Carly in that first debate. And if he would have won that, maybe he would have been projected as she did. But at the end of the day here, it's awful hard when you don't have resources. You're not getting the attention. It's a very crowded field. And someone's going to break out here and get going and be the challenger to Trump. He might have had a chance 4 years ago. He's the strongest. Actually, he was ahead of Trump 4 years ago where he is today in numbers. But I think that debate last time really did him
Hurt
in,
him.
and you know, you pay a heavy price sometimes for things that are.
And yet I'm still walking around trying to correct my friends when they say Fiorini. I'm like, it's Fiorina, Carly Fiorina, who actually did pretty well on that 5 p.m. debate. We got to say.
Okay, as she'll get credit. You're starting to see some criticism of her at this point in time.
Yeah.
The closer you get to the mark, people start putting the scrutiny on you.
Ed, Julie, thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's just so much to talk about and so little time. Guys, thank you very much.